Hi everybody, Alex Employee here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we test the Oracle of Delphi Trading Robot using gold. And you'll be very pleased to hear that we've made some really good results. And here are the results, bearing in mind that we started with $1,000, and what we do is we use 0.08 lots per $1,000 in the account, so that the EA automatically increases the lot size until it reaches the broker's maximum lot size. So that's the basis of the trading. Here you can see we started with $1,000. We traded 29 transactions. All of the 29 transactions, 100% were positive, and we made a nice big gain. As you can see there, the quality of the testing data has been a 99.9%, which is really the highest quality that you can get. And just a reminder that this EA is not commercially available. We are in testing mode. You'll see some really bad mistakes that have been made in the trading of this particular video, but we will be finalizing our testing in the next few weeks, and the EA is anticipated to be available in about 3 months' time. So we're almost there. Before watching this particular section where you watch the trading of the actual Oracle EA, please watch this particular video. It explains how the EA works, how the trading robot works, the Oracle of Delphi works. It shows what factors get taken into account. So it's a good thing to watch it. I do not repeat that in this video. Then there's another video that we made, which is the Bitcoin testing. We tested 50 trades using Bitcoin, got some really nice results from that. Let's have a look. I think we have them here. Is that Bitcoin? Oh yeah. So these are the Bitcoin results. In this particular test, we used 0.04 per thousand in the account. We did 50 trades. Of the 50 trades, 100% were successful, and the result was $2 million. $2 million. And the reason for this is that the broker did not have a very high maximum lot allowance. So I think in Bitcoin's case, the maximum lots were 10 main lots, whereas in the gold it was I think 100 lots. That's where the difference, why there was so much less made in Bitcoin than in the gold testing. Okay, so let's start testing the Oracle of Delphi version 17G. So we've run up about almost 200 versions of this EA, and we're going to be trading gold using every tick. It's a back test. We're going to use 1 hour, and the 1 hour is basically just to show the transactions in a nice way, and we're going to be using a spread of 1.2. Now, often people ask, where do I find the spread? So this is how you do it. You click on the market watch. It will open the market watch, and normally this column over here is not shown. So you would normally see it this way. Let's have a look. That would be unticked normally, the default. So you'd only see the prices. So what you do is you just go there and you tick that, and then it shows you all the spreads that are available, and that's why we're using 12. That is the spread for this broker, which is Black Bull Markets. So that's why the spread of 12 is being used, and we're going to run it right away now. We're going to use dates from the 3rd of January and up until the end of last week. And we're going to do it in visual mode. So here's the chart at the bottom, and then we're going to get a new chart coming through as we hit the start button. So let's hit that start button, and there is the information. So when it comes up, I'm going to just stop it. It's already opened a cell there. I'm just going to stop it, and let's get rid of the one grid that we have. The red grid is our grid, the EA's grid, and there you can see it on the screen. And again, if you need to know what these grids do, please watch those videos that I've mentioned earlier. And we now have no trades being closed, and we have this has been added recently, we now have a balance on the account that is showing the leverage and that type of thing. So there we are. We have an open transaction. Let's see how long this takes. I'm not sure how long it will take, but let's just run it. Okay, so there's the sell transactions open. You can see it's almost at the exact turning point in the market. This EA uses a very exact price levels. Okay, and there we are. Now the next transaction closes the previous transaction, so that sell would have been closed there, and the buy is then opened. And there we are. We're trading at this, and there's sort of a condensed view of the chart. Let's just open it up a little bit more. And at this stage, gold was $2,660. So you can see there's been quite a lot of movement, bullish movement on gold since then, and it's all caused by the wars that are going on, and gold is a instrument that we call a flight to security. A lot of people run to gold when there's wars on. And there we go. There's a sell that's just open. Not quite as good as the previous one, but there we are. You can see it's been closed and open. And there's a buy. Again, it's a little bit early, but that's fine, I guess. And this is how the EA will trade. I cannot go into detail regarding the decision making or the logical process that takes place. But let's just have a look over here. So what we're doing, the risk that we're taking is we're using 0.08 lots for every 1,000 in the account. So that's how when the account goes up, then the lot sizing starts going up. So let's have a look at the lot sizing at the moment. So what we do is we go and look at the account as it is at the moment, and here you can see it's just started. The first order was 0.08, and it still is a 0.08, but now it's doubled. By the fourth trade, it's doubled, so it is increasing rapidly, and we are now on transaction 5, and there transaction 5 just cashed in and made another nice profit. So as you can see, the lots are increasing as the balance on the account increases, and as you've seen, we're going to get some really telephone numbers at the end of all of this trading. Okay, and then there's not much that I can comment on other than to really encourage you to watch that video that I mentioned earlier that tells you what we take into account when we trade the Oracle of Delphi EA. Now this EA, I must stress, is still under development. It will most probably take about 3 months to commercialize, but as you can see, it's already reached a very high level of success and has a very high level of ability to predict turning points. As mentioned in that previous video, we use 4 time frames, we use volumes, we use non-horizontal support and resistance, we use horizontal support and resistance, and a few others, and all of those cause a confluence that gives the EA an idea of where the turning points will be. Let's just reduce the size so we can see what's going on. Now here you can almost see a channel. Can you see that if you draw a line there, that's almost a channel that's happened there, and these are the things that do take place. There's almost a channel, and the top part might not be as good. Oops, come on. Very rough channel. It's very. I'm just the bottom ones are actually quite good. So there are some systems that are being used for these bounces and for these extensions. Even for Fibonacci, we consider when there's no reference that we can do on a support and resistance basis. And already you can see we've got a number of closures. The account has grown from $1,000 to $6,000 at the moment, and it's trading away. Now this is the end of January, so the trading has actually gone quite fast. There's 6 months that needs to be traded, so a sixth has already gone past. It looks like it's going to take about another half an hour for the trading to finish. I'm just going to leave the trading and comment whenever needed. So there will be periods of silence as we go along. And then at the end of the trading, we'll again look at the results and see the final results. They might differ from the ones that I've shown previously in the introduction to this video, but let's just see what happens. So you'll see with this trading there'll be a lot more visible support and resistance turning points that come out, and let's just wait and see how things go. So let's have a look at the trading account. I'll just spin it down. You can already see that we started with $1,000 and we're already cashing in positive deals that are over $1,000, and that's what makes this EA produce these fantastic results. You can see how the lot sizing is just increasing and increasing quite dramatically. Okay, so now it's sort of broken out of this this channel. Now you could have still taken a deal there, because if you extend this one, let's see if I can manage to extend it. By the way, this computer that I'm using here is a couple of thousand miles away, and that's why the response when I'm trying to do things aren't always is not always perfect. And as you can see there was actually a support and resistance transaction. So it's we're still working on it. It's missing. There was an entry, a sell entry, and there was a buy entry that was missed by the EA. So it does use channels, it does use support and resistance. There might be a reason why that was missed. So let's keep on watching it. Unfortunately, the logic is not 100% clear because there are so many factors being taken into account in this particular trading. But these first ones you can see are approximately channel trading trades. Condense it even more. No, that looks ugly, so let's not do it that much. Taking a while, this transaction. This almost looks like a Fibonacci extension. If you take that leg and that retracement, you must probably get very close to a Fibonacci extension. And there's the sell. So now the account has gone from $6,000 to $15,000. So that transaction up there has generated $8,000. And again, you can see this massive jump in the lot sizing. Now, when we did the Bitcoin lot sizing, we saw that there was a limit on the maximum lot sizing that can be traded. I think it was 10 lots. And I think for gold, the broker is a lot more lenient. I think the broker will allow 100 lots to be traded, and that's why the results are so much higher, because we're allowed to use 100 lots for this trading. Okay, there we go. So we've got another transaction that's happened. That's more or less, and I'm just playing around here, but that's more or less a support and resistance line that was used there. Okay. Let's see if we can spot any other reasons why that. I think that's Fibonacci. That's boom, boom, boom. That's a Fibonacci extension. That's a support and resistance line. You get this shape very often. You see this. This is a cup, and that's a cup, and you get that shape a lot. So whenever there's a breakout out of the cup and the cup and goes up, then it'll invariably come and revisit that line. So again, here's another obvious bouncing point. Let's just see. Obviously a previous high. So again, we're getting into channel trading here. Bounce, bounce, bounce on a channel. So it went all up. That's a fourth channel bounce. So we are into heavy channel trading here. Channel trading up there, channel trading down there, and let's see what happens. So some of the transactions are pretty obvious, and others are not. So far, the transactions have been pretty obvious. And I think we'll see some other ones. And again, now the production is really climbing. We're now at $45,000, starting with $1,000. We're now in the middle of February, so we've done 6 weeks. Let's see how long this trading takes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there will be periods of silence while we wait for all the trading to happen. The reason why the trading is going so slowly, we're using tick data, and I've got it set at the fastest speed it can go. Just see, yeah, it's set at the very fastest speed. All right, there's a new entry, a sell. That's not so obvious, although it is slightly obvious. not much happened since I've left. The testing's about a third through, time-wise, end of February, close to the end of February, so a third seems like it's correct. Okay, again, that's not that obvious, but it is a reasonable resistance line. See that turning point. That there's the bounce there and there's the bounce there. So you know, a lot of this is built on support and resistance, as well as some other factors. But again, what happened here, if you look at, remember I mentioned confluences in the other, there's a confluence there, there's a channel coming down, up and down. It misses trades, but there's a confluence of a horizontal and non-horizontal support and resistance line. Now that is a very strong support and resistance area where that transaction happened. If you look at horizontal, let's see if we can get this. Oh, it's the wrong color. See if I can change it. Remember, I'm working on a computer a couple of thousands miles away, so sometimes it's not that easy. Alright, there we are. So yeah, you can see the bouncing resistance there, resistance over here, very strong resistance there, and that's why that's probably why that was regarded as a bouncing point. That really looks like a strong support and resistance line. Look how many times it's been tested from both sides, from the top end and from the bottom end. It's been tested. So this is clearly a very strong support and resistance line. It's quite a dangerous sell, that, I think. But okay, there we are. Again, that is a good support and resistance area that we've just seen that trade to happen at. In fact, it's sort of a related to those two transactions, so I can actually move that line a little bit down. But it's sort of related to those previous two transactions. So again, we're seeing a lot of support and resistance principles playing out here. You can see how strong this resistance line is. The price is just sticking to that area. It's stuck to it over there, it's stuck to it over there, it's stuck to it over there, and now it's breaking out. There she goes. And that yellow line is the $3,000 gold line. It's quite a, I guess it's a psychological barrier for gold. We're now in the middle of March. So it's still quite a long way to go. We've still got quite a bit of time of trading to go. Okay, and there we see it already resisting against that 3,000 line. As expected, you would expect it to be, that's a psychological barrier for the price of gold, and you see this kind of resistance. But we are in a buy, and the EA has basically decided not to sell at that point. Maybe it knows something we don't know. The sort of channel there, you can see bounce there, bounce, 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 and then what happens here, this is called a failed swing. So in other words, if the price doesn't come to the other side of the channel and breaks out to the top, it's a failed swing. So that's actually what's happening here. And there we are. A sell was decided on after the breakout out of this. See, it broke out of it and then retested the breakout point. So as you can see, there's a lot of channel trading going on here that contributes to these turning point decisions. I think what the logic here is that the EA might expect it to retest this. Oh, there we are. That was it. So there was a retest. Again, you get this cup. There's the cup. There's the cup. It goes and retests the breakout point, and off it goes now. So what you're seeing so far is just old-fashioned support and resistance, channel trading, non-horizontal support and resistance, nothing too spectacular, but there are a lot of filters built into the system, especially volume filters. Okay, we're almost halfway through the testing, not quite there yet, and let's restart the testing, and we go continue. And as you can see, that buy was a retest of the important 3000 resistance line or support line. It was resistance and then it became support. Just out of interest, let's have a look at where we are in terms of the results. And this is the trading statement, and we almost made $1 million. We at 891,000. The lot sizing has increased dramatically from 10 to 16 to 22, 51, and is now 71. So now we're going to start printing telephone number results. Okay, there's the buyers taking off. That bounce on that major support is paying off. And here we're getting into Fibonacci. There's the reference line, there's the retracement, and we could see a Fibonacci extension happening right now. That looks pretty close to a Fibonacci extension. And that was a sell. And the account, I think, is now gone up. Big result there, big trend that was caught, and we're now at $1.7 million from a mere $1,000. It is now in a sell. So let's see what happens here. Could explain that sell there. It's a bounce against an upper trend line. That was taken too early because that's where the actual bounce occurred. But we're getting ideas of how the EA is making its trading decisions. They're all based on support and resistance, non-horizontal and horizontal support and resistance, and a few other factors like Fibonacci extensions and that type of thing. All the old-fashioned support and resistance type of activities. We're at the start of April, so it's we've done January, February, March. April, May, June is left. So we're halfway. Just shows you the similar video that we made on Bitcoin has taken a lot shorter. Okay, there we go. Now, no mystery why the buy was entered there. This is a strong support area. It's a round number. And there we are. So another trade explained. You'll see we can explain most probably a good 80% of the trades just by visual observation of support and resistance as we've done so far. Let's see how far things have gone. Okay, so that's where it started. There you can see this, the start transactions, some more. There's a channel trading here, a bit of channel trading there, a bit of channel trading there, a bit of upper resistance lines there, strong support and resistance lines here. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's a mistake. This was a bounce on that line and it hasn't bounced really pretty well. So let's see if this transaction works out. And what you see here are grid lines, but they are, we actually regard them as radar lines. There's also a similar grid of non-horizontal lines that I'm not showing you, otherwise this chart would become almost illegible. This one's really battling. It looks like the EA was a bit too enthusiastic in terms of entering a buy there. But we can see why it did it. I'm guessing entries now. So that's a potential support and resistance level. Let's move it up. Obviously I'm wrong. There's another support and resistance level. Let's see if I'm right this time. No, wrong. And there's another definite support and resistance line there. Let's see if I'm right there. This actually looks like a high time zone Fibonacci type of trade. So there's the extension, there's the retracement, and there's the extension going. So this looks like a Fibonacci. Let's take that one that I'm wrong at out. I may have deleted a few other lines that aren't valid. Yeah, this definitely looks like a high time zone Fibonacci extension. Let's have a look. Yeah, I did delete a line there, so let's see if I can get back and put it back. Although it's not too serious. So either that was under Fibonacci or this whole big one is a Fibonacci extension. Let's have a look. It's actually getting pretty close to this one. Let's just... I'm just guessing at the moment, just seeing that there's nothing much happening. All my guesses so far have been wrong. So part of this EA's decision making is not only knowing when to enter, but also knowing when not to enter. And as you can see, I've suggested some entry points which have obviously been ignored by the EA. Okay, so it's climbing like crazy after this bounce on the 3,000 gold price. Many of these are very old-fashioned price formations. You'll see here's a flag formation. And normally a flag breakout is almost the length of the flagpole, and that's not quite the length of the flagpole, but as I said, it might even be a Fibonacci extension. See, it is almost the length of the flagpole, almost. So not too bad. In fact, that's most probably a better entry because the length of the flagpole is that. Some of these old price formations work pretty well. So that was actually a premature entry. If you take the flag formation as a entry, but and look, it's been wrong by quite a lot. Yeah, it's not perfect at this stage, so please bear that in mind. Yeah, that definitely, if you take this length and you take that length, that was the length of the traditional expectancy from a flag breakout. So that red should have been up there. But there's another reason why that one was chosen. I'm not 100% sure why. As I said, it's probably a Fibonacci extension or a conservative flag breakout, a target. Okay, let's see where this one's going. We are still in a sell. The sell hasn't been a good one. Firstly, it's got a big drawdown there, And secondly, it's not, seems to have pinpointed the next bouncing point too well. Okay, it's starting to make a head and shoulders. You see there? Shoulder, head, shoulder, double chip on the. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. It's probably going to retest this area here, which is a consolidation, support and resistance consolidation area. So let's see if it does it. It should also be a confluence. Yeah, this back testing is taking quite a while due to the fact that we're using tick data, and also the tick data seems to have a lot more ticks, as it were, for gold. So the hidden shoulders, which is a traditional reversal formation, hasn't really resulted in a reversal. Oh, I was almost right. That line I just put in because I said that's the traditional support and resistance, and it looks like it actually did take notice of that. There is the support, and there, that's why it probably went for a buy at that support line. There's also a confluence of trend lines, so we go like this. And that's most probably why it also bounced. So it's in a buy now. Again, the buy hasn't taken off too well, but let's see. Oh, and we're into May now, so we've only got May and June to watch. Hope you're not getting too bored with this trading. It is going pretty slowly. Trading is, on the whole, quite boring. What can be. Okay. Okay, that's an easy one to spot, because when there's a channel breakout, which is about like that, let me just tidy it up a bit. Come on. This computer's 5,000 miles away, so that's why it's not liking me too much fooling around here with the cursor. Right, so there's the channel. So it was a one bounce, not quite a two bounce, another test bounce there. And then when it breaks out with channels is you get a expected area where it's going to bounce of the same height as the previous channel. So that's more or less what I'm trying to illustrate here, is that that's probably why that one bounced there, is too much, is because it honored the expectation of a channel breakout. Okay, so we're starting to explain quite a number of these little trades that happened. I mean, this is quite now that should have been a buy entry there, but because it's retesting the channel line. It's also a confluence of this support and resistance that's here. So I'm surprised it hasn't taken that one. But let's see what happens. So let's see how much money we have in the bank so far. Oh, we've got 10 million. Gee whiz, it's quite fast. 10 million we have. Not a bad investment on the 1,000 that we had to start with. Okay, let's see how this one. This is a sell, still an active sell. And now, what you can also see is that we've hit the broker's maximum lot sizing. So now the lot sizing is not increasing anymore because the broker's maximum lot sizing has been reached. I would have expected a bounce there. It seems like a strong support area. Expect a bounce about there. Not sure why that hasn't happened. Let's just wait patiently. Hello? Come in.
Yeah. How are you?
Fine.
Did they clean your room today? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so there it did activate a buy there. A little bit later, I expected it to be on that line. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at why that could be. No, can't really see why. That bounce, and it was a bit early. That bounce there would have made more sense, because if you take this line here and increase it, you'll see that area would have made a lot more sense. That was probably a premature entry there. So this EA is not perfect. It's missing a few finer points, but it's pretty good. It's got a 100% success rate so far, so I shouldn't criticize it. Let's see what we've got now. So now that little transaction there earned us $2.5 million, so we're now up to $13.3 million. And it was wrong because it was premature. Premature election of a entry spot. Okay, where's the next entry target going to be? Let's have a look. Possibly over here. Here's a very strong support, is that line there. I'm going to guess again. Let's guess, seeing that we're in the guessing game. Let's see. Possibly. Let's see. That looks like a good support resistance area. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a little bit higher than that, where the support is. So it's just another 2 lines higher. But let's have a look. That was my first guess. So there's the buy. It's gone all over. It's gone into drawdown, drawdown again. It's gone all over the place. So it's fairly confident about where it's going. And that confidence comes from the most probably the bigger charts with volume information. There we are. Okay, I was almost right. That is a strong support and resistance area. You can see it's bounced there, bounced there, bounced there, resisted there, bounced there again, bounced there again, bounced there again. So I was almost right with that one. All right, and I'll keep that line there because it obviously explains the reason for that entry. Well, the potential reason. I'm guessing. But it's nice to guess. All right, where is it off to now? Okay, there we are. That's quite interesting. I don't know what. That's remember the head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. That was a level of support, and therefore that was why. Oh, there was a bouncing point. Yeah, no, that's a good level of support resistance there. There it was huddled up. There it's support. Yeah, that's a good entry point. Just a little bit premature, but there it is. Now in a buy. And we've made, with that one, $740,000. Oops, drawdown. All right, this is the 30th of May. So we literally have June more to go. Part of the most of June will be traded shortly. I'm quite pleased that I've been able to give some indication. I might not be right at all, but I've given some indication as to where turning points might occur. But I think it's pretty close to a turning point right now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's actually a dominant angle, but in a simplistic way, let's look at it like this and say that. See, that was a huddle, that was a huddle, that was a huddle there, and that might have been another reason. So it's most probably a dominant angle, but confirmed with another huddle, support and resistance. Nice, eh? Okay, let's have a look. Where are we now? 16, almost 17 million on the table. From a $1,000 account, so all looking good. Whoops, going into drawdown. Okay, there we go. So then, why did it do that? Look, firstly, it is a support and resistance area. You look at it like that. See there, bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah, that's a support and resistance area. There's also a potential channel bounce. If you line up the previous entries, nope. There we are. We've got a channel bounce based on the previous entries. And based on that support and resistance line that's right there. Okay, so let's have a look. We must be coming close to the end of this trading. We're at 17.6 million. Where is the next trade going to be? Based on this, it could be up there somewhere, because this is a channel, so it could be somewhere in that area. It could also be, again, me projecting now, could be that turning point over there. Oh, I was close. That was pretty close. All right, so that also explains that turning point, because it's a channel and a previous major turning point that happened there. It's now the 13th of June, so there are a few more trades to come. I'm running out of ideas here where the next potential turning point could be. Likely to be very close to one of the existing support and resistance lines that I've already drawn. Because here you're starting to get a confluence of resistance, support and resistance lines. Yeah, not sure if that's going to play a role in the next trade, but again, I'm sort of guessing. When two horizontals and a non-horizontal support line that sort of meet like that, that indicates a strong area of support and resistance. Clearly I was wrong. Going for a long trend. Wow, really going. The EA knows something that we clearly don't know. Again, this must be something that comes from the daily or even the weekly chart. Wow, this is quite a... It's even exceeding the double channel rule. So it's quite a breakout, this. Come on, activate. Oh, we'll never know. We will never know. Okay, so this was the last transaction. It hasn't closed. It is still open, but the testing program will close at stop. So it closed it at a 1.7 million profit, which meant that the overall gain was 20.5 million on $1,000 starting point. And as you've seen throughout, is that most of the turning points were it was possible to find some reason why they were closed or taken or traded. There we are, the history behind it all. And let's have a look at the actual report. And there's the report. There's the gains made on the $1,000 account. Only 29 trades, 100% success rate, and that was pretty good. As I say, we're still working on it. You can see some of them, like that one was a complete a dangerous one. That one was also quite dangerous. So it isn't perfect yet. But what would be good is if you could let me know which other trading instruments you want me to expose to this particular EA in future. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any references will be supplied in the description of the video, as well as in the first commentary of the video. Just a reminder, this EA is under development. It is not available at the moment, and any comments from you would be appreciated, as well as any ideas on which instruments you would like me to trade from now on. So from me, Alex Employee, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and cheerio.